Last time on the last 48.
That positive mindset, that's really all that you need. But people will be people and they will not have understanding. And normal people, well, you could try to explain to them, but they won't get it.
I remember when my stomach looked like a certain podcaster's. So I went and did some sit ups. Turns out it had nothing to do with me being overweight, it had everything to do with my adrenal glands continuously growing. And that ain't supposed to happen. These 3-inch organs that sit atop of both of your kidneys are never supposed to grow, but mine did. My left adrenal glands, well, it started in my back and it wrapped around the left side, came across the front of my body all the way to the right side. The right adrenal glands wasn't as big as the left side, but it was big enough. Both of them being so huge, it pushed my kidneys all the way down to my lower midsection, sitting just above my bladder, which caused me to sprint to the restroom as quickly as I could. It also created havoc on my circulation system, causing my ankles to swell up every now and again, or when I would have my blood drawn, the blood would come out extremely thick and very slow, which caused me to take baby aspirin, a blood thinner. I should have known something was wrong way back in 2017 when I started noticing my stomach growing and growing. Maybe I should have noticed. As I chew my food, I'm having to recognize that I haven't taken a breath and now I'm choking. So I got to make a decision. Do I keep chewing this delicious food that I just put in my mouth, or do I stop, inhale, take a breath, and get my breathing back? Because there were many a days where I couldn't chew my food and breathe air at the same time. I don't know what caused that. I don't know why it would happen, but it got scary at some point. Turns out it was a pretty simple solve. I tried expressing this to my doc, but normal people, they just can't understand. How weird. Then there were times I just wasn't hungry. I could possibly go maybe 1 or 2 days without eating anything and not be hungry, even though I could hear my stomach growling. I couldn't feel it. It's like a void, and yet I still wasn't hungry. Sometimes the smell of food would make me want to vomit. It was as if I was a cancer patient taking chemo. I was never prepared for what would happen once my adrenal glands would start growing. I had no idea that this could happen. I had already prepared myself for a death by adrenal glands shock. This came out of left field. And once I started reading and educating myself on what was the next phase of my life, oh my, it was dark. It was very, very dark. My immune system was already suppressed by taking these corticosteroids, but it wouldn't be to the level that I would experience without my adrenal glands. I wouldn't be able to catch a cold. And this is at the height of COVID, so I had no choice but to get the COVID shot. While you bitched and complained about having to wear a mask, I'm still wearing mine. I can't catch a cold. As a matter of fact, I haven't been sick since I want to say 2018 or 2019, because what I was told after I had both of my adrenal glands removed was every time I get sick, it turns into sepsis. Well, 2 months having a double adrenalectomy, I got sick in March of 2023. Apparently, I ate something that was no good for my stomach. I had food poisoning. And boy, oh boy, let me tell you about the vomiting. It was so violent. It was as if I was getting exorcised of my demons. It was ridiculous. Everything I put in my mouth. I take my medication. I drink some water. I drink some ginger ale. I down some Pepto Bismol. So now I'm worried. I call my pops. Hey yo, come take me to the hospital. I'm dying here. He shows up all slowly and shit. And here I am, a vomiting mess. I say, hey yo, dad, I gotta get a bag. Get me a bag before I puke all over your car. I did. It was vicious. So when I hear people say, get a bag, get a bag, get a bag, I hear something completely different. I don't hear money, 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 money. I hear, I'm gonna vomit all over your shit. And once we got to the hospital, they made me share a room with another person. That patient had a visitor, and at that time, we still had the COVID alert on our phones, and my iPhone went off saying that the other person's visitors had tested positive for COVID. I was quickly removed from that room and placed in my own room. And once I started having visitors, I quickly recognized what the rest of my life would look like if I ever got sick. My visitors would have to wear a mask. They would have to be cloaked in a suit. And that made me extremely uncomfortable. Don't get sick. Don't catch a cold. The process of educating myself and getting understanding of what my new life would be like after having these adrenal glands removed, getting a better understanding of what 21 hydroxylase is, or CAH, congenital adrenal hyperplasia, due to the fact that my adrenal glands knows it can't make cortisol. It sends up whatever hormone is necessary to fill that void. So by not taking my medication and getting my cortisol, which would keep my body balanced with estrogen, because my DNA is XX, which is why I do have ovaries, my body wasn't receiving that. And so it would send up more and more testosterone, creating a huge imbalance on what my exterior body looks like. As a child, as a person growing up with this, I had no clue. I just knew what I was feeling when taking the corticosteroids. I had no idea that my pituitary glands, which sit at the top of my neck, right beneath my brain, and is screaming to the brain, get the adrenal glands to make some cortisol. And my adrenal glands is sending up more and more testosterone. And the pituitary glands is still screaming at the brain, get me some cortisol, not testosterone. And this is how you get to a point where the adrenal glands starts to enlarge. I was told as a child by Dr. Brazel, whenever you start feeling pain in your neck, and she displayed to me what that looked like. She turned her back to me and she took her two fingers, her pointing finger and her thumb, and she ran it down her neck. She said, whenever you start feeling pain here, kiddo, you're about to go through adrenal shock. Start taking your medicine. I only felt that maybe once or twice in my life where I knew I was that close to death. Honestly, dehydration sets in first. So you have to drink large amounts of water. And not just water, but you have to get electrolytes into your body. You have to get salt into your body. But that's what that Florinef is supposed to be for. And you'll have that Florinef pill through your adolescence. But as you grow, you won't need that Florinef pill until after they take out both of your adrenal glands. So I'm back on Florinef in order to help retain salt and electrolytes. I have to drink large amounts of water because you do not want to be dehydrated. Once you start vomiting and you start having diarrhea and you wind up back in the hospital, you're close to adrenal shock. I have always known that. I've never known about my adrenal glands enlarging. I was told by my surgeon who did the double adrenalectomy that no doctor knows how much cortisol the body makes for itself. But what they do know is that anything over 20 milligrams or 25 milligrams is way too much for the body, and you'll see a negative result. Or at least in my life, I never had a dosage over 15 milligrams for the day. Yeah, I maxed out at 15. I've refused to take 20. That seemed a bit much. This episode was brought to you by Khaki's Beauty, where the products don't define you, you define the product. This episode was recorded by me. It was edited by me. It was written by me. Executive produced by me. Who am I? Kadea for Fetch Productions. Make sure you join us next week.
That positive mindset, that's really all that you need. But people will be people and they will not have understanding. And normal people, well, you could try to explain to them, but they won't get it.